my dear beautiful bastards, and welcome to the very first time we get to see actual uninterrupted gameplay of Shadow of War. Of course, I will interrupt it myself in this video, because that's just what I do, but if you wish to see the entire gameplay session, make sure to check out the link below. Jared and Mike were in the company of Ellie, their best Shadow of War player, who played the Nirn Fort Assault at medium difficulty at about halfway through the story, with Talion being level 26. This particular build is something slightly older, and this is what the press had a chance to play last week when they visited Europe. I believe that a similar updated demo will be available for the press at E3, so we can probably expect another gameplay session after that event. Since we got to see the entire Fort Assault process, we now know how it all works. The front of the fort will have a mission marker that starts the assault, but before that happens we can go to the army screen and figure out a plan. All of the captains and war chiefs will be in the fort during the attack, both allied and enemy ones. It will be normal to spend many years in the army screen figuring out what to do and how to do it, because the orcs will have strengths and weaknesses that will be crucial in determining the outcome of the battle. The best thing to do first is decide who is gonna be our bodyguard. The bodyguard should probably have strengths that counter the Overlord, because we should only call for him during the final battle, but it is important to keep in mind that the bodyguard will still appear in the assault and he will fight. If he dies during battle, we will not have a bodyguard to call. This is what actually happened to them in the livestream. I think that is a very cool thing to have, because you kinda have to be close to him and make sure he survives the initial attack so he can help you out when facing the Overlord. The selection is as simple as pressing a button and confirming the orc as a bodyguard. The next step is selecting the siege upgrades. I have talked about this topic quite a bit in the previous video, so I will focus on only the new things that we've been shown. The right side shows the fort defenses, and we can see that it has stone walls, an iron gate, savage hosts and poison siege beasts. The amount of defenses seem to correspond to the amount of war chiefs we have unlocked, but I assume that is just convenience. I doubt the level 300 fort is going to limit itself to our capabilities. The offensive upgrades do include the cursed siege beasts that I assumed were a thing in my previous video, and the fourth war chief that is unlocked can bring a particular beast to the fight. It can bring spiders called Shelob's Brood. Shelob is a great spider from the Lord of the Rings universe, and apparently we can spawn her little kids to murder the enemy orcs. We can bring a war grog, which is a tame beast that we can ride as soon as the battle starts, and a wild drake, which is a neutral beast that flies over the battlefield and needs to be broken in order for us to ride it. In case the fort is feral, it will be possible to have several drakes in the air at the same time and have them all fight against each other, which does sound pretty amazing. Then the battle begins.
My lads told me you brought an army with you. I'm looking, and I don't see anything I'd call an army. You will not capture our fortress this day. Not our keep, not our walls. Your bodies will be ripped to pieces, pressed into the mud before our mighty gates.
Now's the time to strike, boss. On your order, of course.
They should thank us for bringing war to their gates. Instead, they spout nonsense. I say we should go in there and teach them some manners.
Once the battle begins, the very first move seems to be targeting the little explosive things on the enemy siege beasts that weaken them. The next move is jumping onto our own siege beast and launching the cursed balls onto the enemies. In this case, the other side was stacked with our spiders that made sure all of the enemies stood still, so the projectiles were a very convenient way of smashing them to death. Unfortunately, our siege beast got hit by an enemy boulder which destroyed the mechanism, but the grog was still alive. Jumping on the grog and running around looked pretty amazing, so I'm just gonna let that happen now.
And that enables us to take over, ride him, and actually climb straight over these walls.
Oh, I love
maybe even take out some of the enemy artillery.
I think you already took him out already.
Oh, he's broken. Oh,
there you go.
Boom.
Oh, now they're gonna do the punching battle.
Oh.
I love it. Man, it's like they're... Oh,
and he's done. So we've actually can destroy their artillery, and then
might as well. Oh, I love that they're doing like the sucker punch. Turtle fight. Close, Ogre Plaguebringer.
Also, while Ellie was up there busy taking out those Growls, you can see around that victory point, one of our followers is bleeding out. So if you see the bleeding over the top, and then the circle that's bleeding out, so these guys can obviously...
love to blunder your way into our fort, but you don't get very far. And you don't blunder back out alive!
Let's see it like that.
Is that like rock and sock and grog brats? That's that.
Yeah, exactly.
This time, little help!
His name is Bootlick.
Yep, so he is quite rightly, quite wisely.
Once we got off the grog, we can see that we can dominate the friendly orcs that are bleeding to death. We are able to banish them, tell them to retreat, or make them stay and fight. This is a pretty good way of managing the allies, especially if it is an orc that we dearly love. Basically the options translate to I don't want you in my family anymore, go to your room, or sit down and let's have a talk. Now a broken enemy shows similar options. We can do a wedgie, call him out in front of the class, or tell him to come to our party. The battle continued and it is interesting to see that Ellie almost died. She had to use the quick time event to save herself and she is one of the most experienced players of the game so far. I assume playing on hard will indeed be a great challenge to most. Besides, death is encouraged so more enemies can evolve and get stronger, which will in turn give us more reasons to do more things in the game in order to overcome them. Now comes the moment when our assigned bodyguard dies, but in his death a rune for our ring comes to life. Not only that, but his name is ingrained in the ring's statistics for all eternity, so his death is not for nothing. Next we see the glaive in action, which is pretty amazing. Swinging it all over the place seems satisfying and powerful, especially while mounting a Caragor. It is also pretty cool seeing the Caragor get infected with poison and slowly dying from it. The visual effect is very fitting if you ask me. It looks like he is covered with rotten cheese that smells like my feet. After capturing all victory points, the remaining war chiefs need to be killed in order for the door towards the Overlord to collapse. In my previous video I thought that it would be possible to enter and fight the Overlord without defeating all of the war chiefs, but I guess that's not a thing. I have nothing to say here, so here's the entire Overlord battle in all its glory.
Get away with that.
Right. See who will promote, so we'll get to show a couple of...
Those who dare stand before the Lord of this fort are swiftly put to death.
That's right. And yet you're still here.
Oh, snap.
Dark comments being shared there. Look at all, I love the knives on his bandolier to throw. That's nice. It's gonna be hard.
He's got the throwing knives as well.
Oh yeah. Alright, so let's bring in our bro.
Okay, first, let's just remind ourselves of how incredibly tough this guy is.
That's what it looks like he's saying.
Oh, the fear of pinning. That is
do that.
literal Achilles heel.
Yeah, it'll be perfect.
Shooting him in the heel is his Achilles heel.
Shoot him in the foot. He does look, Kratos, he does look a little bit like God of War, doesn't he?
Kratos. Yeah. He let himself go and lived in Mordor for a while.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, nice slide.
Ooh. Don't forget our bodyguard.
Okay.
One of the biggest joys is to see someone else taken out in some of the fight. Alright, so he's shown up, and should be somewhere.
I think we might have lost him.
Did we lose him in the fight?
We lost him in the fight. As someone I tried to save, but I didn't get to him in time.
Oop, I saw a couple chats and a couple chat comments saying we lost him.
Yeah.
I was like, no, we didn't. We're fine. Sorry, I should have trusted you guys.
Oh, you. Oh. So the glaive you can use in combat as well. It's really handy.
Right.
And you can double charge it to do combos too.
Right, the charge up one. Oh man. Oh noes.
He almost did.
Oh noes. I got a question from Lord Clamoring.
Yep.
Just letting you guys know, as
mighty shot.
we're focusing on this right now, but as in like when you ask things like how many regions, we're not talking about that at the moment. We're here to support Ellie. Mike and I, cheerleaders. So, pom-poms and all. Which I don't have any pom-poms. I should have brought pom-poms. That would have been awesome.
You haven't got the pom-poms?
No, I forgot the pom-poms. I got confused with setting up the stream and everything.
So the archers are positioned up around the balcony.
Right.
They're a really good opportunity to go and dominate them and then actually flip them from being a threat into being...
Get health.
Nice.
I don't see bombs. Ooh, the poison shot.
Oh, tell you what, also your Elven Wraths can charge.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that would be a sick moment.
So the blue bar on the right that goes all the way around,
right.
That's Elven Wrath, so that enables Ringwraiths to come out.
Oh, you got him going down. Oh. Not quite. So, I got a comment which was like, oh, you're doing it, which was like, are you immortal right now? No, not at all.
No. That
We
was
almost
close
died.
to death.
Yeah.
But that brief period, so if you save up the Elven Wrath, that gives you a little taste of immortality.
Oh, yeah. So, should we... I don't want to shame him because I want to show them the legendary gear.
No, we'll fight him to the death.
Oh, okay. There we go. Fight to the death? Yeah, a lot of people saying die, die, die. So, yeah, fight to the death it is.
Oh,
it's the Achilles heel. That's what you said.
He lived so long and died with an arrow in the eye.
It happens sometimes, you know. The best overlords do what they can. Oh man, we didn't get any like new armor to show off necessarily either.
I think some might have dropped.
You listen. You can hear the thunder of our enemies' feet as they flee. While we feast in victory, they quake in fear, because they know that we are coming for them. Witness the rise of Mordor! Witness the rise of the Bright Lord!
Plant the flag in this fortress. And then, so now we own the fortress.
Right.
Which also means we own the region.
All right. I'm gonna set up...
Once the Overlord is dead and we set the new Overlord in charge, we can also check out the weapon that we got for defeating him. Remember that any item you do not pick up during the assault will be automatically added to your inventory upon the successful end of the battle. The most interesting thing about this weapon is the set bonus, where we will periodically explode if we get set on fire. Sounds like a Michael Bay kind of a bonus. The way the fort was conquered isn't the only way, because we are able to mark the enemy warchiefs and kill them before the assault. This is done by marking them in the army screen and then visiting a marker on the map that starts the mission. It is very similar to how it worked in the first game, where you simply have to lure him out by either getting to a specific spot or defeating specific enemies. As you can see, the fort is explorable at any time and we can fight within it without being in the actual assault. Many people have been commenting how we haven't seen any of the open world gameplay, but they fail to understand that everything is open world and you can go anywhere at any time. They've been showcasing the fort assaults the most because that is a very big and different addition to the game, at least compared to the rest. This is also where they die on purpose, so we can see the time shift and how everything changes. They had another quick assault where they showcased how the battle with the Overlord can be simply repeated if you die. You don't have to do the entire assault again, but if you die again, that will give the enemies enough time to level up and reorganize the fort, which will require you to do it all over again. Another thing they accidentally showed is the skill tree. It didn't really reveal much, only the categories and something called Secret and Fatal Might. There are 120 skills, which means that Alien can probably go up to level 120. That also makes sense because the orcs are limited to level 60, so double of that is quite logical. We could try and assume what the skills are. The combat ones could be executions, critical strike, some sort of combat master, swift finisher, terrifying execution, and last chance ability. The Predator skill tree is known thanks to one of the live streams, and you can check out my take on that video as well. The ranged skill tree could be detonate, freeze spin, mid-air shot, quick draw, and shadow chain. Wraith one could be throwing daggers, elven light, some sort of wraith flash maybe, and combat brand. Mounted one, summon Caragor, summon Grog, summon armored Caragor, shadow mount, and summon Drake. The story skills could be Drain, Glaive, Elven Wrath, Double Jump, Summoning Gondorians, and the final one could have something to do with the arena battles maybe. There are plenty of sub-skills that are locked, so I'm looking forward to seeing what they are. That's all from me and this glorious livestream that showed us some real gameplay for the first time. I'm hoping we will see more in the future so I can make more videos and keep myself from withdrawals. Thanks for watching and make sure to check out the full livestream, it is quite decent. I have been Petard, your glorious lord, and may the blessings of Petardia eternally touch your butt.